Hello, travelers. This is ostensibly day 2 of the 5 days of Christmas. I know I did not bring you a reading yesterday. I decided to take a day off yesterday, and my daughter and I spent the evening, thank God for Netflix. So we spent the evening last night watching comedians. So we started out with Cedric the Entertainer. Then we moved to Jim Gaffigan. Then we went to Chris Rock, then Chris Tucker, and we ended the night with Trevor Noah. So it was just a great evening of laughter and fun. We just hung out on the sofa and watched the comedians and laughed. Now, with that being said, I'm going to share something with you that just happened. I did a reading for someone a couple of days ago, and okay, this is what I'm trying to explain. I'm a card reader. I'm a cartomancer. I have a relationship with the cards. I have a relationship with my own spirit guides, and so my intuition and the way that the cards speak to me work only in the way that they work for me. And what I mean by that is every reader is going to have their own relationship with the cards, and their intuition and their wherever they, however they access that information is personal to them. I don't know how the cards work. I spend a lot of time with them, but I don't understand the way that they work. And if I sat here and tried to tell you that I knew, I would be a liar. Not only do I not understand how they work, I don't know, you have heard me say this a lot of times. At least for me, I'm going to only speak for me. I have absolutely no control over the cards. My hands touch them. I spend a lot of time with them, but in terms of whatever story that they're speaking about, I have no control over that. I am the channel. Okay. So I did a reading for a client a couple of days ago, and right in the center of her spread was the death card. And I kept saying to her, the king was dead, the king was dead. I said, and you're going to know what that means. I did not know what that meant. And the thing that kept leaping out at me off of the death card were the two towers in the background of the card. And I read for her and I gave her the story, and then I pulled some playing cards over the top so we could further clarify a few things. And she kept getting twos, and I kept telling her, whatever this thing is, it's going to come in twos. And I remember saying at one point, it's like twins, but not twins. So a few minutes ago, she responded to me and said that she got news. And I kept telling her, you're going to be traveling. You're going to have to go somewhere. I don't know if you're going to have to immigrate. I just wasn't sure what the story was. I couldn't pinpoint it that accurately, but I was certain that these things were going to occur because this is what I was being told and what I was being shown. And she contacted me just a moment ago. Her uncle passed away. And then 2 hours later, she got a phone call that her father passed away. And that was the meaning of the twins. It wasn't necessarily twins, it was brothers. That's what the card was trying to tell me. It came in twos, and it happened in 2 days' time. And so she opened the email with, okay, heebie-jeebie woman. I gave myself the heebie-jeebies once I started reading what she was telling me. And so make no mistake that even if you get a personal reading from me and you don't understand what the story is, that's why I always ask you to remain open. Don't dismiss it out of hand. Don't say, oh, well, she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Okay? 50%, a 50% accuracy rate is what I like to give people. Why? Because everybody has free will and things happen. But I am sometimes, even myself, am astounded at the accuracy which can come across. not just for me as a reader, but just in general. I am sometimes astounded by the accuracy of what it is that the cards are showing me. And again, the reason why that astounds me so much is because I have no control. I know that I have no control over it. And I don't understand how the process works. The one thing I can promise you as a reader is that these never lie. They never lie. They are incapable of lying. There's no motivation. And the reason why they are incapable is because they are pieces of paper with artwork drawn on them. That's all they are. But yet they are able to tap into a consciousness that defies explanation. So I can't speak for any other readers, but even I am astounded sometimes myself at the way these cards speak. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because I know a lot of times people will shop around for readers. People will looking for what they want to hear, or sometimes people will book a reading and then they don't really want to hear what you have to say, so they don't show up for the reading because they are fearful of what the cards are going to say. You should not be fearful of whatever wisdom or information that the cards are trying to impart upon you. It is really a gift from heaven, from the divine, however you choose to phrase it or call it. It is a true gift that the universe is able to speak to you about certain things in life that occur. And so I have a high reverence for the cards, and I am very respectful of the way that they work. I don't read for everybody. I won't read for everybody. I've read for people that they'll get a reading and then they'll come back, 3-4 days later and want another reading, and I'll say, no, you need to let the energy settle. Another thing, if your situation is chaotic, that's what you're going to get when you read the cards. And so I ask you to try to calm yourself and pose your questions. You don't always have to pose a question. You can simply ask, I want just a general open reading to see what may, but it is an invaluable tool. And I find that the more that I do it and the more I read for people, the more it also helps me and assists me in doing this type of work. So I wanted to share that with you, and I think what I'm going to do is, I know that I will, I'm going to a little bit later, maybe in a couple of days, do another reading for that person who wrote me, because I know that she needs it, and I'm going to do it and just send it to her. So with that being said, maybe that's why I needed that little break yesterday. So I'm going to do this reading, and then probably later on today I will post a second reading that's going to cover the day I missed yesterday, but also cover Christmas, because I'm not going to read on Christmas. And then again, I might. It just depends on if the mood strikes me. And then we will go from there. We do have the eclipses coming up January 5th. We just had this full moon occur. And then things are going to go kind of astrologically quiet. And it's kind of for me, on a fifth dimensional level, this quiet time or quiet period is actually giving me the spooks, and I can't explain why that is. So I want to kind of look at that before we go into the new year. So I will come back and do another reading between Christmas and New Year's Eve. I might even post one up on the website, another reading. Sometimes you just have to go with the spirit, you know what I mean? So let's open the cards. I have done some meditation, called in my guides, and called in the archangels. I always call in the archangels. Here we go. Eight of Wands. Two of Swords. I'm laughing because this is kind of the way I feel at the moment. Here is the Nine of Cups. Well, isn't that interesting? Wow, okay. The Star card. The Four of Wands. The Four of Cups. Wow. Okay. The Knight of Wands. Wow. The Five of Swords. The Two of Wands. It's a story repeat. I have two twos and two fours, but this is a repeat. It is something coming from either east to west, or something that is returning. It's coming back around. Now, what is most interesting to me is, okay, I have two cups, four wands, two swords, and one major arcana. There is one, what do you call it, court card here. I don't know if there was a trip planned, something that came rather quickly. It is something that you had your hopes set on. Okay. But I think it was, in effect, kind of a fickle thing. That's the energy of this night. This is a reckless kind of energy. Coming and going, changing to and fro quite quickly, not sticking around long enough. A message. But it's an event. Something reversed itself. Now, the Two of Swords is a funny kind of a card, because the Two of Swords is that energy of not being exactly sure if you, what the truth is, okay? Feeling as though you don't have all of the information to make a decision, or wondering if there's something about this decision you need to make that is either being hidden from you or you don't see it. So what we do is there's no decision. It's a card of choices. Twos are always choices, options, dualities, um, and decisions. Okay, and sometimes it is best that we don't do anything. Okay, we stop a moment, sit down, and get in touch with what the intuition is telling us. What doesn't make any sense to me is this Nine of Cups over here. Behind this. So I'm not exactly sure if this is the idea that someone is of two minds about whether this is something they really want. But it's kind of like it's already set in motion. Okay? It's already set in motion. Now, there is, I don't know if this has to do because it's the holidays with a trip home. This is what this card represents. It represents the home and stable foundations, but it also speaks to some kind of celebration. See those people who are welcoming you. The card invites you in. Come celebrate with us. Come sit with us. Come feast with us. Come drink with us. Come make yourself at home. But for some of you, this offer is you're not thrilled about it. You're not excited about it. You're not what is, I'm going to come back to that because this card is that extra cup in the air is trying to tell me something. I haven't tapped into it yet. So just give me a moment. Whatever this thing is, we see that the situation completely reverses itself. And the reason why I say that is because the majority of the cards are all faced this way. This doesn't read like a do-over. It reads like whatever choice or decision is made, it creates some type of argument or the idea of standing up for yourself in a battle. The thing is I don't see a fight here. I don't see a battle here. I don't see a struggle here. This could be crossed words, being on two separate pages, trying to be right, and then someone leaving out of the scene. Boom, they're gone. Now, there are no coins here. So I don't think this is a financial issue. It is definitely a temperamental issue. One that involves a lot of emotion, a lot of thoughts, a lot of words, a lot of communication, or lack thereof. And there's a lot of fire behind it, a lot of perhaps anger behind it. From the 2 to the 5 is the 3 of Swords. Y'all who've been with me for a while know that I don't read all the time what's here. I read what's not here or how they play out. There's that 3 of Swords. From the 2 to the 5 gives me 3 swords that were missing, and here they are. So this is the energy over the reading. 2 twos speak to a wedding, an engagement, and or a marriage, some kind of partnership. But what we think, or what we think we don't know, or what we think we know, is obscured. And what we want to do, and the direction we want to go in, that also requires me to make a decision. So 2 twos speak to, as I said, it speaks to the need to for harmonious communication and the need to make a change or a decision. So this is an indecision. This card is a card of indecision, as is this card. Indecision because I don't know what to think about it. And since I don't know what to think about it, I don't know what to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about this particular situation. Two fours. Two fours speak to a safe and secure time period, but it also speaks to the possibility of a house move or a change of address. Now, this definitely speaks to travel. The Eight of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury in Sagittarius is Mercury rules travel, short distance travel. He rules news, messages, communications, sales, negotiations, contracts. Sagittarius deals with foreigners, foreign people, foreign lands, the internet, imports, exports, higher education, higher learning, different philosophies, astrology, tarot, the occult. It deals with all of that. It's basically about differences. With the star card underneath it, the star card can be about peace and tranquility and feeling in tune with the universal vibrations. It can also be about hope, wishes, and dreams. The card of faith saying don't give up. But it can also be about the astrology or the cosmology, something that's happening in the sky, a divine timing kind of a thing. And these are two different stories here. The Nine of Cups is the card of wishes. It's the wish card, right? In the tarot deck, next to the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles, it is the highest card in the deck in terms of energies and good things coming. But there's something else missing here. And the reason why I say that is from the Nine of Cups to the Four is Five Cups. So that speaks to me about some kind of sadness or loss or regret. But it also speaks about the emotional readjustment that you're going through. Yes, it is okay to be sad and to mourn the loss but you also want to be careful that you're not crying over spilt milk, right? And this weird energy of something coming in. When the Eight of Wands shows up, it just tells you that something is happening, something is coming in very fast. And it says that whatever forces have been set in motion, it's too late. You can't stop it now. And so you need to be prepared for whatever comes your way. But again, like I said, it's just kind of a circular story because here are these three swords. We know that goes from the 2 to the 5. So to me, that's like an increase. Something happens. Something is said. There is a heartache or there is a loss or something that's considered a necessary sacrifice. It does imply sometimes bitter things that happen to us. And two swords on the ground, the person's holding one. There's our three swords again. But then over the shoulder are those two swords. Here they are. I don't know if this is the idea that maybe we are waiting on something. Maybe it does have to do with traveling home for the holidays. We know holidays can be stressful. Lots of suicides are committed over the holidays. All of our families are damn dysfunctional. Yeah, there are those family dynamics that we have to deal with. Things that come up from childhood. Make you want to go out back, smoke a spliff, and have a drink. That kind of a thing. We see someone who looks like they're crying as if they are resigned to the fact. And then someone else is just like, you know what, I can't. And these two cards, the yellow implies happiness and joy and prosperity and abundance. This yellow. There are no quote unquote dark cards here. There's different varying levels of blue. There's a bit of darkness over the top here. Okay, as if this is twilight. Um, Something comes in. Sometimes the Eight of Wands can be the card of travel, typically by air. We don't know where these eight wands are, where they're coming from and what they're aimed at. We just see them flying through the air over this open field. So it's really that kind of thing that just kind of whooshes in. And here someone is sitting under the tree. But if this is messages as well, whatever this is, it completely takes the person out of this energy. And they've got to get up and they got to move. And they've got to do it quick. So, there is something about and I don't know what this means. And maybe for some of you this may mean something. See on that pillar, there's 2 white flowers and 2 red flowers. 4 flowers. 2 red, which would indicate lust, heat, speed, passion, desire, anger. And then the 2 white flowers, peace, tranquility, harmony, purity. So there's, when I first put the card down, that's the first thing that leaped off the card at me was these flowers here. I don't know if these are roses. I think they might be roses. I'm not sure. I don't know what this means. Now, remember me talking to you about the 5 of Cups that's missing over here? In the 5 of Cups card, let me see if I can find it. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, here it is. In the 5 of Cups card, see that bridge? There it is there. Can you see it? So it speaks of like some kind of transitional state. A passing of one thing over something, overcoming something, crossing over something. But there are these flowers. Again, there are these flowers. Same thing in this card. Look, y'all. As I say to you, I don't know a lot of times what the hell it is I'm seeing and what the cards are trying to tell me in terms of the story. The other thing that comes across is that I have 2 people sitting on benches. There's a bench. There's a bench. A bench is a place of rest, a place of contemplation. So I don't know what this means. So let me go to the cards, and these are all, this is all on a mundane level. These are all pip cards here. So this is all on a mundane level, except for this star card. So I honestly feel that either this is due to some type of astrological transit. It's both Venus and Aquarius. Those 2 things don't quite go together. Venus is the ruler of both Taurus and Libra. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. But Uranus is expect the unexpected. It is the Epiphany God, the God of the sky, lightning and thunder, um, electronics, sudden things occurring and happening. Oh Lord, my little girl was trying to teach me about trap music last night. So that's what was on my phone when I opened it up. Like, no. Um, she's like, "Oh God, Mom, I hate trap music. You never heard it. What is it?" I was like, What the hell is it?" Um, two twos, harmonious changes in communications and the need to make a choice. Two fours, house repairs or looking to move house. Now, and I already gave you that, right? So let me close that out and give you this information. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all of these pip cards as they relate to the star card. Can't look at this because it's a court card. Okay? You know, and I wish I could explain to you why it is that court cards never come across to me as people. They just don't. It always comes across as some kind of event. Of course, you know, messages happen and events happen. There's other people involved, but they never ever come across to me as people. So let's take a look at this Eight of Wands. There's a lot of wands here. And let's see. Sometimes eights can speak to setbacks, and maybe that's what this is. And while you're waiting, you're not exactly sure what's happening, but then we see that everything works out okay. It could be that. But the setback, kind of everything just kind of screeched to a halt, and that's kind of the energy that I'm getting here with this card and this card. Maybe like an information blackout, so to speak. I'm going to go in the order that the cards were placed. So let me give you these Two of Swords here. And the Two of Swords is not always a negative card. Sometimes you really do just need to take a mental break. You just do. Now, it says with wands on all sides. And we pretty much got wands on all sides. Here's one way down here. It is an indication that help and assistance will be forthcoming from those you work with and or members of your workplace. Even though this doesn't read like a workplace thing to me. Two twos tell of a commitment and or an engagement. And I'm sorry that from work, that just doesn't, that's not the energy coming off these cards. So I'm putting that out there because that's what it is, but it doesn't necessarily interesting. This makes more sense. It says the Two of Swords ask you to show caution and restraint against making rash decisions you may regret later. But we see that there's already some regret here from the 9 to the 4. We already see that. It tells of unsettling communications. It is that when it appears, it's that the key to achieving a satisfactory compromise is by open and honest communications. Do not allow prior grievances and bitterness to influence the communication. Once a compromise has been reached, you should feel a sense of achievement at having been open-minded and considerate of others. And maybe this is what that is. That's like this energy leaving. It talks about tough choices, weighing up the pros and cons, and a stalemate. It tells of mixed emotions and a feeling of confusion that may lead to upset and sorrow. So this is why I say this is a really odd kind of a reading, because we see these different positive influences here, but there's just other underlying energy of some kind of conflict. Typically the Nine of Cups doesn't tell you anything. It tells you to take into consideration all of the other major arcana cards. There's only the one. So whatever this wish or this thing is that comes in, here with the Star card, it really causes you to make or to be on the precipice of making a decision. And it's 9 is a number of completion. It says that, to look at the rest of the major arcana. Well, here's only one, and this will give an indication of how your success will come about. So maybe there is something that for some of you, you got to a point now where you're like, okay, everything, whatever this thing is, and then suddenly there was an information blackout, or there was a decision that you had to make, or you've been waiting on something to, everything turns out all right. Yeah, I'm going, finally everything is going my way. The universe is in love with me right now, and this is something to celebrate. But from here on, it just kind of, deteriorate is not the word, okay? That's not the word. Something happens, or something is lacking, let me put it that way. But something new is being offered. And this is the weird thing that I can't quite put my hand on. Excuse me. Allergies, Jesus. Nothing about the Four of Wands. Let me take a look at these Four of Cups. Oh, I didn't read you. Did I read you the 2 fours? Oh, yeah, house repairs, moving house. Hold on. Let's look at this Four of Cups. It's almost like the cards are saying that whatever this thing, somebody gets their wish, everything is great. They finally arrived at this particular place where there is safety and there's security, but they either want more and they're not sure how to go about getting it, or another offer comes in to add something to it and they don't reach out for it. That is a choice. That is a decision. Nothing about, it tells of a safe and secure time frame. Well, that's what this tells me. But something is missing from the 9 to the 4 is 5 cups. This tells me nothing. So let me go, and I'm going to read these cards backwards because this is the way the energy is flowing. Everything's going like this, and then suddenly it goes like that. It's kind of like a redo, but it doesn't have redo energy. Let me put it to you like that, okay? It just doesn't. It speaks to some kind of reversal, but I don't understand what this reversal is. Nothing about the 2 of Wands, so the cards are kind of being a little stingy on their information. Let's take a look at this 5 of Swords to see what it has to tell us. Nothing. Nothing. Tells me nothing. Just on the off chance, let me see what I can pull for you out of this 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords. It indicates it is a time to let go of things that you know are no longer positively serving you in your life. For example, if a relationship which is no longer positive and growing and is causing unhappiness must be allowed to die a natural death, regardless of the short-term pain. The 3 of Swords, with its sense of vision and understanding, makes this pain easier to bear. It implies that something sad or painful must be allowed to work itself out. It suggests that more than one person is involved, and also suggests that there will be a period of suspended activities before future successes are realized. We see those 3 people in the card. It indicates that there's a focus on separation and loss, and implies that you may be experiencing difficulties in a relationship that could lead to separation. The cause of these difficulties is likely to be jealousy or interference by another party. It may be telling of a difficult and or painful issue which must be dealt with quickly. as some realities need to be faced and important changes made. In the short term, this may cause disharmony and feelings of loss, but long term, you may find the new changes to be exactly what was required, much like a blessing in disguise. This card can sometimes be the idea that you don't want to face up to the truth of whatever the situation is. Okay? A lot of times that's what that is. And remember, I said to you, the first thing I said is this Nine of Cups just doesn't make any sense coming behind this card. So this could be the blessing in disguise. You don't see it yet, but it's a blessing in disguise. It may be foretelling of family arguments and disputes, and may even lead to, with this card, that's what that 4 is, family, home, and separations. It may be indicating an attack on your feeling center and can indicate a division within a relationship. It may also be implying a separation from loved ones due to unfortunate events. It is indicating a separation or severance of a close relationship, but be careful not to become quarrelsome, as this will lead to arguments and upsets and misunderstandings. You are asked to keep your emotions in check, and I think that's why this card has come out. And we are contemplating, remember I said how we feel about something? You know, we're not accepting the emotion of it. We're simply kind of in a place where we're suspending the way we feel about something because we're not exactly sure perhaps how we feel or what we should be feeling. It is a message to 3 of Swords to feel positive as bigger and better circumstances are headed for you. You will be given an opportunity to start afresh any projects or ideas that have been present in your life. New perspectives will be looked into and positive actions taken. And I think that's why this card has shown up. It says if someone around you's been ill, it may be indicating that either yourself or someone very close may be experiencing second thoughts or a change of heart, which in turn will bring about a change in attitudes and or behavior. And we see that here. It is saying that if you've been waiting on some important information or documents, the 3 of Wands tells you that it is, it's the 3 of Wands. We don't have the 3 of Wands, and I don't know why that's here. So that's wrong. The 3 of Swords may be warning of a respiratory disease or similar affliction. I know I just got news that my mom has to have heart surgery. She's getting a stent. Let's go to the cards. So that's what the cards are telling me. I'm going to use these playing cards. You know, and the first thing I want to look at, honestly, you know, the 9 of Cups, that card just doesn't fit to me in the way that it falls here and here. It just kind of doesn't fit. But it also tells me in this future column that whatever this thing is, that 5 of Cups does cause somebody to have a change of heart. But then the question becomes, what's with the 5 of Swords? Now, in effect, that would give me, in a roundabout way, 2 5s. And 2 5s speak to exciting times are ahead. That's that Knight of Wands energy. But as I always tell you, excitement is not always happy and positive. It could be anger, it could be fights, it could be war, it could be anything. But 2 5s also speak to constant bickering and backstabbing and ill will from others cause trouble in a relationship. Well, that speaks to jealousy and ill will. Question is, where is it coming from, right? That's the question. And maybe it's not you, maybe somebody that you're dealing with. There's a 4 of Clubs, which is like another 4 of Wands. There's the 8 of Hearts, which is like the 8 of Cups. And here is the King of Clubs, which is like a King of Wands. A male with fire predominating his chart. The two of hearts just showed up, and I'm going to tell you where I was fixing to look at this five of, so that would be 3 twos in effect. Now in this deck, 2 twos say things come in twos. Okay, so let's see what the rest of the cards have to say. So far, the playing card has only produced 1 2, a 2 of hearts. So this is some kind of argument over a relationship or a partnership of some kind. Well, the unexpected. Remember me talking to you about that Uranus energy? There's the Joker. That's like the Tower card. It just simply means something completely out of your control, something you don't know coming, something you don't see coming, something that happens out of the blue unexpectedly. Well, a king of coins. Or a man with earth predominating his chart. Now, typically 2 kings will speak to some kind of business deal or venture. Remember, we're talking about work. But it could be that there is, between 2 males, there is some kind of jealousy and ill will. This may be a choice between 2 different males. One male you're not that excited about whatever he's offering. Maybe the other male is not that excited about what you're offering. It could be one of those things. Whether you are same-sex and or heterosexual, this is what's going to apply. Now, I'm going to pull one more set of cards, and I'm going to pull it on this Knight of Wands here, and then we're going to go to the meanings of these cards. These are all red cards. So, you know, in the playing card deck, the red cards are positive. They represent life, energy, fire. We see these wands around here. So this could be that. Remember I said the blessing in disguise? Whatever this fight was, unexpectedly over this partnership with this particular king of diamonds. In a way, it's kind of a positive thing. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Because it ain't making no sense to me. Well, the Ace of Spades. Now, this card has a very dreaded meaning in this deck, but it is also a card of great power. Okay? I'll explain that in a moment. The 8 of Clubs. You know what that is? That's like another 8 of Wands. And there's our 5 of Cups, which is the 5 of Hearts, which is like the 5 of Cups that was missing. Well, let's get to the cards. I'm going to give you 2 different interpretations for these cards, okay? Because even the playing cards are read differently for some people. Now remember, we're talking about communications. Remember I said that, but this 4 of Clubs is kind of a funny card. Because it can cover, in one interpretation, it can cover a lot of things. Computerized technology, music synthesizers, visual technology, as in film, TV, x-rays, and diagnostic equipment, electronic communications. Sometimes this can be about the inner workings of the body. And for some reason, when I saw this card, I kept particularly attached to this. This is about communications in some way, shape, or form. It can be talking about passports and the cardiovascular system. We've seen that. Okay. 8 of Hearts. It's the wish card on top of the wish card. And it speaks about this card, when it shows up, enhances all areas of the reading, especially as it regards money, personal desires, career, and home life. And we see that here. So this is a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, and or Sagittarius, or simply a man who has fire predominating his chart. So it means that he could actually be in Aquarius, okay? but he has a lot of planets either on fire houses, or he has a lot of planets in a fire sign. Okay, but he could be of any sign. He represents the tall, dark stranger. He would be he serves to represent a dark-haired man over 40, if that gives you anything. Okay, the next set of cards that we're going to look at are these. Now remember, I'm going to give you two interpretations, so let me finish this first set, and then we'll come back and do the second set. The Two of Hearts. That's kind of self-explanatory. But what it says is two souls in tune, lovers, two people drawn to each other. With the Creation card, it signals the birth of twins. That's the Creation card, the Ace of Spades. Now, some interpretations say that this is the most dreaded card in the deck. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's simply a card of potent creation, okay? Now, some people don't use the Joker. I add the Joker. Sometimes I take him out. Sometimes I put him in. But basically, the Joker just represents, as I say, that idea of the unexpected. Here is the King of Diamonds. And the King of Diamonds represents another male over 40 who can, because he's a diamonds, this is related to coins, so we're looking at an earth sign male, okay? Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. If not that sign, this means that he has earth predominating his chart. So he could be, I don't know, a Cancer, but have lots of planets on the earth sign houses, okay? Which would be the 2nd house, the 6th house, and the 10th house. Or, okay, lots of planets in earth signs. Or this could represent what he does for a living. Investment bankers, something to do with money. Something to do, maybe day trading. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. This last set, this card. It says that there are only certain things in life that are guaranteed, and that's death and taxes. Now, through time, this card has been a portent of doom and gloom and the negative side of life. It is a card of foretelling, not foreboding. Okay, it is the card of creation, life, power, regeneration, and transformation. So a lot of times in the ancient, this card shows up, it speaks to death, sadness, misery. It is the most powerful card in the deck, and it indicates all types of creation. Okay, this rules reproductive organs, so sometimes surgery will fall under this in terms of birth, abortion, hysterectomy, prostate problems, sexual dysfunction, sexually transmitted diseases, the use and misuse of vital energy. It is literally the most powerful card in the playing card deck. Here with this 8 of clubs. So something is changing. Remember I said this is an event? It's an event. But whatever this thing is, it like completely with this, it completely changes everything. Okay? The 8, it says all institutional or governments. It speaks about corporate, public, private, educational, medical, and financial. So this card has a lot of force and power to it too. It happens rapidly. It takes off. It's a reckless kind of an energy. 5 of Hearts. It speaks to good health, increased activity, having a great bank account, home life, and your job. Now, I think this is based upon some kind of decision. There's a loss that occurs here, but it changes it kind of changes everything. That's why I say it's kind of reads like a blessing in disguise. So let's go back to the second interpretations and read these. This card says to beware of dishonesty and deceit and avoid blind acceptance of others at this time. Not being sure about something. The outward appearance is that everything is okay. But we see that the person is not sure. There's choices here. There's hesitancy. There's decisions being made or contemplated. The Eight of Hearts says an unexpected gift or visit and an invitation to a party. Some kind of celebration. This may occur around the holidays for someone. This is a dark-haired man, kind, with fire predominating his chart, generous and spirited. This set of cards, a warm partnership or engagement. This is a favorable card that indicates strength and support coming from a partner. But then suddenly, here comes the Joker. Okay. He corresponds to the Fool card. I'm sorry, not the Tower, the Fool card. It just means that something unexpected and uncontrolled can and or will occur. That's all I can tell you. This King of Diamonds, a fair-haired or graying man or a man with earth predominating his chart. A man of authority, status, or influence. Well, we kind of see this might be the kind of person who is my way or the highway kind of a person. Right? The last set. Misfortune, sometimes associated with death, or more often a difficult ending. And we see it here. We see it. Eight of Clubs, work and business problems that may have to do with jealousy. Now, in this interpretation, this speaks to something that's quite unfavorable. We keep seeing this thing about jealousy, or perhaps the idea, and this is the 2 5s. Remember those 2 5s I was telling you about? Jealousy and ill will and backbiting and backstabbing. Okay? It's kind of presenting itself here. 5 of Hearts. Again, it says jealousy and ill will from people around you. That's why I like the playing cards. Now, I don't know who this is referencing. Let me pull. But I honestly feel, I'm going to be honest with you. What I think is happening, I think that some of you, there may be 2 different males, whether same-sex or heterosexual relationship. Whether a business deal. I think there are 2 men. I think they're either, the 2 men have either come to you and presented you with an option. Okay, that's the one story. Maybe you have 2 choices to choose from. Remember I said, you're not too keen on what one is offering you. Okay. And the second male, the offer, he's not sure what to think about it. Okay. So if this is a business deal, there's a third party coming in between the 2 men. I don't know how that plays out, but there's some jealousy and ill will. This could be against each other, but there is definitely a third party here. Now, if it could be that the 2 men are jealous of each other and they may not even know each other. So this is telling me that there's something going on behind the scenes for either one or both of these males that you are not privy to. Okay? Now, why are the cards telling me that? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is pull this La Vida Sibilas on this 2 of Swords here. Just 3 cards. And then I want you to go ahead and formulate your question for the angel answer. Messaggere, news from far away. But we don't know what to make of it. Amore. Take note, my friend, that cherub, Cupido, himself is blindfolded. And the Il Nemico. These are 2 men who are in competition with each other. I don't even think they are aware of each other, okay? But I think this reads like there's a fear that there's somebody else there. They're not sure. They don't have any information. That's what this is about. And the blessing in disguise, if this is you finding yourself in this situation, is that you have in effect kind of removed yourself out of it. Formulate your question, please, for the angel answer card. I think both of these men are going to return. But one of them is not going to, I don't know who to tell you to pick. Let me put it that way. Only you know. Okay? If this is a business deal between 2 males, that third party, I think this third party is eventually that person will be revealed. Okay? You see the enemy there. There he is, Il Nemico. This is not a third man. This is just 2 men. This is not a third male. Listen to your intuition. And sometimes that's what this card is about. It's about sitting down and listening to your intuition. In other words, removing yourself from a situation. Romance angel. Oh, Jesus, this reading's an hour old. So this is going to cover today and tomorrow. How about that? I didn't realize I was reading for so long. Sometimes that happens. The spirit just overtakes and you just read. Okay. So here we go. 1 card. That card spoke to me. Let's pull it out and see what it says. And if you didn't know, now you know. Okay. If you didn't know, now you know. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is completely reliable and accurate at this time. Listen to your own inner guidance and you cannot go wrong. You can be certain that the messages you're receiving from your angels are real and trustworthy. Have faith in your feelings about the circumstances you're experiencing. Your insights into other people and their true feelings or motives are perfectly accurate. There is no need to question what you know is true. Now, I want you to look at this card again. What does that imagery say to you? This could be a married couple going off on their honeymoon, spending time alone. But the card says retreat. And so the secondary message is to remove yourself. It's time to disconnect from the world. No communications. Don't give another thought to whatever this thing is, whoever these people are. Let's read. Retreat. The romance angels see that your love life blossoms as you spend time alone with your partner or by yourself. It appears that you become confused or conflicted by other people's advice. It's time for you to disconnect so that you can better hear your own feelings and opinions. Sometimes that's what this card is. See, we're talking about people at rest, but something, okay? If you are in a partnership, spending time together apart from others will renew your commitment and take it to the next level. This could mean taking a vacation, going on a nature hike, enjoying a long drive, or simply turning off the phones and the computer as you both enjoy a quiet afternoon at home. The painting on this card also indicates a honeymoon, which could be the literal message. So there may be a deepening of commitment or a new serious relationship if you're currently single. This card may indicate an upcoming engagement, wedding, or renewal of vows. There's that celebration thing I'm talking about. These activities are more meaningful as you spend time alone with your partner. If you are presently single, this card guides you to spend time by yourself, meditating on your true feelings and thoughts. Be sure to take action based on any intuitive guidance. This strengthens your energy, which helps you to rapidly manifest your loving partner. I think you've already met this person. There are just some other things that need to be worked out. Okay, this is going to count for today and tomorrow. So I'm going to leave you with this. I hope these messages helped you. Please have a safe and happy holiday season. I will see you on the other side. Till next time, namaste.